Even though the characters are very similar, the individuality does assert itself.
In some ways, the Blue Men character are always dealing with finding the sweet spot on this gradient of being in a group, but also being individuals.
The Blue Man also has this tension between what we call the scientist and the shaman. The scientist likes to experiment and test things and find out and quantify. The shaman feels things.
The scientist largely lives in his head, and the shaman lives in his body.
Stop your feet! Clap your hands. Come on. Come on. Stop your feet! Come on. Come on.
So it's the scientist that invents a new instrument and builds it with precision, but it's the shaman that plays it, that expresses the inner life with that instrument.
The scientist and shaman do have a tense relationship. In many ways, they're complete opposites. But the magic, the alchemy, actually happens through collaboration. The scientist can build a crazy contraption, but it's the shaman who transforms that contraption to create an experience.
There's still another dimension to the character, though, that we think of, because we also wanted the character to have an element of strength, the strength of the hero, the character with a goal and a purpose and a drive. It's important for the character in the shows to be pushing things forward, to be playing the big drum like he's willing to go through a brick wall. But we also wanted to balance that with an opposing force that gave the character some humanity, and that we call the innocent. For inspiration for the innocent, we look at characters like Forrest Gump, the guys in Spinal Tap. We even looked at dogs. And what they all have in common is a kind of naivete, even a foolishness. But there's also a curious dignity in their complete lack of self-consciousness, and that's what we were interested in. A piece where you can see the innocent side of the Blue Man at play is the one where they're having a meal with the guests from the audience.
The blue man has a physical characteristic that automatically puts him in a vulnerable situation, and that's a chest hole. And as a result, he finds himself in situations that you and I might not normally find ourselves in.
This moment in the show is a good example of the innocent, because when that incident happens, it might be embarrassing to all of us, but the blue man doesn't know what normal is. It just seems like it's life as usual.
In the end, the blue man belongs in the fish out of water category.
Really, the fish out of water is a device to see our world with fresh eyes and to be a heightened version of a part of ourselves. So they're really not aliens. They're really just us in a new form that allows us to look at it in a fresh way.
And it's just fun to see what the blue man would do in everyday situations.
So, for example, we've wondered, what would the blue man be like in a subway station?